That is definitely bottom end.
Well, spun a bearing, we think. Bottom end's pretty bad. Here it will sit for likely the next 24 hours, so this sucks, but Jake's giving us a ride back in the Elko. We'll see what happens. Hopefully pick this thing up with a trailer tomorrow, but... So we just pulled over to switch bags around and stuff because... Yeah, more rain. Haven't had enough today, huh? Yeah, this should get interesting. Let's see how this back window holds up, huh? It's gonna be interesting. So you can probably it's actually sort of kind of comfy, sort of kind of roomy in here. And we just put bags in here, so we'll see how this turns out. All right, so we got pushed off the main road because it was closed down because it was flooding. So we got redirected to this like middle of nowhere kind of road where it's also flooding. And we just probably went through a solid half foot of water in the Elko here, and we didn't get stuck, so pretty impressive. Yeah, it's very comfy in here too with 3 people. I don't know, we'll see what happens. The main road is way over there, but they got to shut down because it's completely flooded right now. Oh man.
This is probably not my brightest idea.
Well, you can see.
Or how many days is my carpet going to be wet? Don't stop.
Now, kitten's cost left kitten's fired, but I figured I'd have it all when it comes outside.
That's just your exhaust ticket. Only a little bit sketchy.
Did you know an El Camino can float?
It's a car, it's a truck, it's a boat, it's whatever you want it to be.
Stop at the speedway and take some laps.
Hey, Monte Carlo.
Alright, well we have made it home, not in the car we left with. But thanks to this guy right here, turn around and wave, we made it all the way home. So the plan is tomorrow to run to trailer, go down, pick up the car, and then bring it back here and tear into it and see what it looks like. So on to tomorrow, where I'll probably pick this up once we get a trailer. So obviously in the morning, yesterday around 9 o'clock, we went on the cruise. It was a 90-mile cruise. Car did perfectly fine, and it did perfectly fine on the 250 miles to get down there Friday night. So once we got done with the cruise, we stopped at a gas station. Everybody kind of filled up. People kind of went home from there, and then we went back to the campsite where we were staying with a bunch of people. And we were kind of just packing up our tents and stuff. We all decided to go home because it was raining that night and figured it wasn't going to be, as much fun. Because it was storming all day and it was just kind of a mess. So we left there around 4 o'clock. Jake was following us because he was actually going up to Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is the same route we had to take to get home. So we were just kind of cruising together. We decided to hop on a bunch of back roads. So we were on the highway for probably about, I think it was 40 miles, and then we went on back roads the rest of the way. And once we got off the highway, we were on the back roads for probably 50 miles, stopped, got some gas. Everything was going fine up until then, no noises whatsoever, no issues. Cars were both doing great, cruising about 60, 70 the entire time, no issues. And then we probably got 20 minutes after we stopped for gas, and it started making a little ticking noise. We weren't sure exactly what it is. We let it go for about 5 minutes, and then we just decided to pull over because it was getting pretty loud. So we pulled over kind of this gravel lot. Jake pulled up beside us because he was following us the entire time. Popped the hood, checked the oil, and we went to go pull out the dipstick, and only half of it came out, which was odd because right before we left, the campsite, we checked the oil, completely full, the dipstick was there, and then when we pulled it out on this little spot, we stopped on the side of the road, only half the dipstick was there. So we're like, okay. So we kind of let it run, revved it up a little bit there, just to see what it sounded like, and it definitely sounded like something from the bottom end, but it wasn't too bad. So we're like, all right, you know, we'll kind of see what happens. I mean, we can't just call it here. There's nothing we can really do. So we drove probably another 15-20 minutes, cruising at 35, and I mean, there's probably 6 cars behind me. We were going pretty slow, and it was getting really loud. So we're literally in the middle of nowhere, Indiana, trying to look for a safe, good, friendly place to stop. And there's kind of some sketchy places here and there, a lot of abandoned places that look like nobody's lived there for a while. And we were trying to look for like a store or just maybe like a gas station or someone who like looked friendly, like their house or something. And finally we come across this like just random house in the middle of nowhere. And it looked pretty nice. It was kind of, there's a long driveways kind of back there, but it could not go any farther. The noise was getting pretty bad. So we pulled over, popped the hood, looked at it, and it was pretty bad. Pretty sure it spun a bearing, and right before we parked it for about 2 miles, it developed a rod knock. Oil pressure was good and everything. Nothing was overheating. It was just random how it started. We're not even sure what happened or how it started. So we went up to this lady's house, super nice, and I mean, so thankful that we stopped at the right place. She let us park it there. We got, you know, all the stuff we needed out of the car. And then we decided, you know, we'll park it, we'll come get it tomorrow, which is today, go rent a trailer, go down there. And then we all hopped in Jake's El Camino, and all 3 of us on the one seat in there, which was pretty fun. And then on our way home, we were taking, it's the main road basically back. It's not really a highway, it's not really a back road. And that was shut down because there was flooding. And about 20 minutes prior to this, we could see a big storm up ahead. And on our phones, we all got flash flood warnings. And we're like, oh, you know, that won't be a big deal at all. Well, that was ironic because the main road was shut down. And then we went on to the back roads, which you guys saw in the video clips from yesterday, which were completely flooded. And there was a half foot of water. We somehow made it through. There was a bunch of guys in front of us with like off-road vehicles on trailers and stuff, and they were like, oh, if you can't get through, you know, you can hop on our trailer or something, we'll load the car up on there. But no, we made it through, took a pretty good detour. It was storming pretty good. It's kind of crazy how that adventure all happened. And then we just pretty much, after we got through about 5 miles of just water here and there, flooded the roads and stuff. And I mean, there's branches on the roads and stuff. And it looked like a pretty good sized storm came through. We ended up making it home about 10 o'clock last night. El Camino did great. So huge thanks to Jake for giving us a lift back. And then he went up to Kenosha last night, and now we're at today, which is midday Sunday, and in about an hour we are about to leave. Renting U-Haul trailer, gonna go down there to, I don't even know where we left the car, I hope it's still there. Drive down there, hopefully bring it back. If it's still there, it should be. And then I guess we'll dive into it later this week sometime, or who knows when, because I'm pretty curious to see what happens. So stay tuned, because today we are going to drive down there, pick up the car. All right, we just picked up the trailer here. We got 180 miles to the car, a little less than 3 hours to drive. So I will give you guys an update once we get there and get the car loaded. But these trailers are super nice to haul with. We got one of these when we went to pick up the car, so it should be pretty easy. On our way now.
I bet you they're coming from US 41.
Well, we have arrived, and the car's still here. Looks to be the same. Nobody stole it. Just didn't burn down. Everything's here. So my dad's over there backing up turn around the trailer, gonna back it up, and then we're gonna try to drive this thing on. But man, so good to see the car again. Glad it's still here too. So people were super nice to let us leave it here. All right, car is loaded up. I drove it on first time, didn't go through or mess anything up. Started up pretty good. So everything's set now. We are headed home. Hopefully this thing stays on the trailer. All right, quick stop for gas here. Made it like 2 miles. And we're just filling up for gas, grabbing some little dinner. That's where we stopped on last month's cruise actually for lunch. 180 miles home. Car's looking good. This looks familiar. Did the same thing just about 6 months ago coming back from New Mexico. Well, first issue, no, just a tiny little issue. The strap that we had coiled up down here came off, and a guy behind us pointed to it, so we just pulled over, threw it in the trunk, and that's not going anywhere now. So that's it's held in place. Should have just done that to begin with, but other than that, car is still intact. How many more miles do we have to go?
I don't know.
Okay, we don't know how many more miles we have to go, but it's dark out, and I think we're gonna get home around midnight or so. What is up, everyone? It is the following day now. We just got home about midnight last night. Pushed the car inside because didn't want to start it and wake the neighborhood. Although it's not crazy loud, it's loud enough, and pushing it inside isn't the easiest thing when you have an uphill driveway, but got the car inside. We'll probably dig into it later today or tomorrow. Who knows? A couple things that we need to do before we most likely pull the engine. So pull the valve cover off, see what that looks like, drain the oil, probably hook up an oil pressure gauge just to see what the oil pressure is right now. But that'll all be for a future video of some sort once we dive into this thing and come up with a plan for it. But I mean, other than that, this weekend the car ran completely flawless. It was temp was 130 the entire time. No shaking or bumps or rattling or anything with the suspension. I mean, just nothing. So everything was solid and completely good up until obviously the issue, which is weird because people say Line 6s are tanks and they last forever. Well, apparently 498 miles is forever. So like I said, we'll dive into it and see exactly what it is. So right now I need to go through and unpack the entire car. Still got our tent and stuff in the back, cooler in there and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but I'm gonna call it for this video. So quite an adventure, and this video took a turn. So we'll figure it out, hopefully. Maybe this engine is still salvageable. I hope it is. Otherwise, most likely another slant will be going back in it. But I mean, for the drive down there and the cruise, it's so good to finally drive this. And I mean, it's really fun. So I'm really excited with that. You know, just another adventure, another project we got. We were gonna start working on some interior things this week, but obviously that's gonna be put to a hold for probably a while. So like I said, that's gonna be it for this video. Probably talking way too much again, but thank you everyone for watching, and stay tuned until the next time where we look into this and figure out exactly what went wrong, because right now it's a mystery.